Hi guys, my name is Joe,
And I'm Tyler, and welcome to Dad's Bites.
where we answer your questions in 10 minutes. Let's go!
So I've got another question.
Come on.
Is it difficult to break the cycle if you don't have an example to work from? So what
Well, that's really complicated. That's
So
very
what-
deep.
So the question here is essentially, I think as fathers, our father's parenting style and our parenting style is very different,
Yes.
right? So it's really very difficult to break away from that. That's one. And the other one, I think the second part of the question is that if let's say you didn't have a parenting figure,
Yeah.
then you're working based on nothing, right? Because
Yeah.
if let's say we had a parenting figure,
Yeah.
then we can see yes and no, and then we can what. But then I think if we don't have, then how do we start
Okay.
that?
I mean,
Maybe let's do the first part first, which is the difficult to break away from our parents' parenting style.
okay, I'm actually gonna address both at the same time.
Okay.
Because I feel today's era and last time is very different.
Okay.
Today we have access to a lot of knowledge.
Yes.
Google and stuff like that. A
Yeah.
lot of things. So at any point, if you don't know how to do anything, right, or
Just
you
search
need
it.
some advice or guidance, you just search.
Yeah.
Even if you can't, if it's not available, you post it on Reddit. A lot of people will be happy to
Answer.
provide their opinion, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, pertaining to the first point, I think it's not so much of how the olden days, how things are done. It's what you believe is correct. So if let's say you were brought up your father's way or your mother's way, and you feel that that's the way and it should be correct, I'm sure you do the correct way. But then if let's say you feel that their way is wrong, you will not do their way. So
Right.
I think it's more of like what you believe in.
Right.
So if you, my opinion, if you see today somebody taking care of their kids very similar to how they were brought up, that's likely because
They agree with it.
yes, they agreed with it. Correct.
Right.
Like for example, my generation, right? My mom believed in using a cane.
Right.
I mean, in our generation,
Yes.
a lot of us don't use cane anymore, right?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we may still resort to some form of violence, but it's very restrained. It's not like last time. It's like
Wow.
abundant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the default. Anything
Yeah.
happen, the cane come out first.
Kids
So-
first, ask question later.
But I still have friends in our era,
Right.
that still uses the cane. It's super effective. But what kind of effect it has eventually is another question.
Right.
So then that's the first one.
Yeah.
On the second question on if there's a lack of parenting figure, right? I think that the existence of a role model is important.
Right.
Because then that's where that's where you feel that it should be the way.
Yeah.
But the crux is, does this role model has to be that role model, or it can be what you create by thinking that this should be the perfect, or this should be the ideal way of doing this. And again, then this falls back to
The first one.
what
What you agree is right and wrong.
that, and also like the abundance of information and guidance on the internet, for example,
Right.
that we have today compared to the past.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, again, my opinion, I don't know whether the others agree or not, but that's how I think.
Okay. I think for me, I'll be honest, it's a bit difficult to apply, and maybe because maybe it should apply the same way.
Okay.
So I think for me is that my dad was, because I'm a father, right? So I'm using my dad.
Yep.
My dad was very harsh.
Okay.
He was, the old generation father.
Yeah.
Like, just do this, just go through the pain and just, handle the situation and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And as much as I agree with some,
Yeah.
I cannot enforce it with my daughter.
Okay.
When I say I cannot,
Any example that you can enforce?
I mean, as of right now, I cannot really say,
Okay.
but because I haven't really had the opportunity to enforce as well.
It's okay.
But
I know you don't want to bring back memories. Right? I understand.
No, so like, one of the things is that let me think of what I can share. Okay, example, what my dad did to me, said to me, right, was this one time, because I stayed in JB then, right? So I had
Yeah.
to travel back and forth.
Yeah.
So I will always remember this. So I was a bit late in meeting him because I have to travel back to JB and he'll pick me up from JB custom site.
Yeah.
Right? I was a bit late,
Yeah.
a bit my like 5-10 minutes,
Okay.
right? And then he scolded me,
Okay.
right? And then I think if maybe if he wasn't in the car, then maybe he would have whacked me. But anyway, he scolded me. Then I told him it's not my fault because the bus wasn't there. There was no bus.
Yeah.
And then he said this line, which I always remember, and it sort of affected me all the way to now, which is that the bus schedule is fixed one. You are the variable here. Right?
Yes.
So fit yourself to the thing.
Yes.
And then because of that, there was this one time that I was nearly late.
Uh-huh.
I ran the causeway. I ran the causeway for my life
Yeah. Okay.
so that I wasn't late.
Okay.
But anyway, so it's this kind of things that I think I cannot apply. Because first of all, I'm in the same country as her. She's not going to travel the causeway.
Yeah.
And then I think more importantly is that she's a daughter, she's a girl.
Yeah.
I was a son.
Yeah.
I think, to me, I think there's still gender differences. In the way of bringing it up.
Okay.
So I think that's what I'm trying to say, where I cannot do the same way. But yeah, I think I don't know whether it's called breakaway from mine, but it's just different.
Okay.
As for the second point, whether to without a role model,
Yeah.
I think I agree with you on the point where we have a lot of information nowadays,
Yes.
and sometimes I would dare say that maybe it's actually better to start from scratch.
Okay.
The
Okay.
reason being that I think sometimes when you have a role model or you have something to work on, you get too entrapped in
Yeah.
that sphere,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you will just deviate maybe by 10%.
Yeah.
Whereas if you start from scratch, you actually can build from whatever you want.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
And maybe that could be better. And I just want to add one more point, which is sidetracked from this whole question, is that I think a lot, at least for me, I think I've seen a lot of examples where the grandparents, our parents, are stepping in.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
And sometimes maybe a bit too much.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
And I just want to remind all the parents out there that this is your family. Maybe you should set your rules for your own family. I mean, sorry lah, but I think you're going to outlive, or at least I'm going to outlive my parents lah.
Okay.
I'm going to deal with the consequences after that,
Yeah.
right? So it's not. I think it's the best to set your own rules.
Yeah. So on that point, interesting. I think it may not work for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people actually prefer that their parents step in, or the grandparents or the children, because they're just lazy. No, really, I've seen a lot that.
Step in is in what sense? Because my step in is enforce their beliefs.
Yeah.
Huh? Serious?
Yeah, some of them are, I don't know, I've seen a few that they really want to live their me lives, their own lives. I mean, they have kids and all, but they're not committed to taking care of the kids.
Okay.
They leave it to their parents, which is okay.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's wrong, but then you have other issues lah.
Right.
Yeah, but in a way it's good because then there's no issues of conflicts. Because if you have your own beliefs,
I agree.
and you stay with your parents, or your parents are taking care of the kids for you, then there's going to be a clash of conflicts. Then of course, then one party has to compromise lah.
True.
But in that case, yeah. No, but I want to maybe just end off by saying something.
Yeah.
This is what I think I am.
What do you mean?
Based on my opinion.
Okay.
Like I don't think I'm like my father or my mother. No, I think that I'm doing this because I believe it's the right thing.
But you
My wife always asks me, "Hey, why this action of yours looks so much like your father?" I think, really? No, I'm not copying him. Don't say I copy him, okay? This is what I believe in, okay? So sometimes, in Chinese,
subconsciously.
yeah, correct. In Chinese, we have this saying, 当局者迷, 旁观者清. So you don't see really yourself, but somebody else can see what's really happening. So anyway, just wanted to end off with it.
Right. And that's your dad bite.